Hi guys, I'm ExactChaos and welcome back to another episode of City Skylines. We are in the beautiful valley, Prospect Valley, a beautiful little new town, and there's a fair bit of zoning going on over here. First things first, before in the last episode we created this beautiful rail underpass or underpass under the rail line, if you are so inclined. And what I've done is I've used some key walls, and I'll quickly show you how I've done that. I've just used very standard key walls. Where are they? In here? No, where are they? Ah, here they are. It's under the paths. Under the paths, I've just used, I can't remember which one it is that I've used. I think it's probably this half wall or something like that. And all I've done is I've made sure to select this kind of setup. I've done that. I've made it as small as possible, and I've used move it to kind of move it under there. Now, it's probably not the half one. It's probably the fuller one. And I've just moved it under there and moved it in. And that's kind of how I've created that. I'll kind of replicate that just so that I can show you what I've done. So basically, you just select all your nodes. All your nodes with move it. And then what you can do is as you move it, you can right click and turn it like this. Okay, you can use page up and page down to bring it up and bring it down, and you can move them all together into a location like that, and that's it. So that's the way this is done, and then you do that again on the other side, and there we go. So that's basically how I've done it. In case you wanted to know. Now, something else has happened in the game in the meantime is we've established there's a new mod. There's new mods all the time, but the network multi-tool is something that's pretty cool. And we're going to definitely use it a fair bit in this game. I'm going to quickly show you what it does. There's some other tools. This is adding a node. This is removing a node. This is union nodes mode, which I'm not too sure on what it does. I think it just kind of makes multiple nodes a single node, which I think is very similar to removing node. But anyway, if you know more about it than I do, please let me know. This one is the tool that you use to create an intersection. So if you've in Anarchy done this kind of arrangement, let me just switch on Anarchy. So if we've done something like that, okay, then we can use the multi-tool, this one here, and we can just connect. It doesn't actually want to work when it's like that. Okay. Well, let me show you I don't need to remove all of them, but if we do this and we do that, now it should work. Is that it? It might still not work. Yeah, it's still probably not going to work. So if we do this, there we go. Now it should work. So now if I use the multi-tool, we take that, we'll do this, and there we go. It creates an intersection. So Electrics does a very similar thing. But anyway, that's what that tool does. What's next on this list over here? It's a sloping tool. So again, what we can quite comfortably do is, let me start it off this way, and we'll do something like that. Okay. So there we go. Now, actually, before we do this sloping tool, there's another one here, which is called arrange at line mode, and I believe what that does is it basically does, not sure this will work, and then we enter it. But basically what that does is it kind of turns it into that, and now what we'll do is we'll use the sloping tool to kind of fix that. So it just makes, if you've got rigid angles and things like that and you want a more smoother curve, that's the tool to use. And this is quite an interesting, I do wonder, actually, I believe this is just a glitch and it'll fix itself. Anyway, let's go back to that. Let's just quickly do the slope. So all we do is select all of these guys. Come on. All the way up there. Now what we do is hit enter and it should smooth things out. Yeah, so now it's a 21-degree consistent slope there. But it's still not quite acting the way I would have liked it to do. Now it's doing a little funny bits and pieces over here. I do wonder why it's doing that. But what I think we can do is if we go with move it and I do this, no, there's definitely a visual glitch over there. So anyway, that doesn't quite work the way I intended it to do. So anyway, we'll see. Maybe that's not the best tool. We've got electrics over here. That's also got a sloping tool. Actually, no, move it's got a sloping tool. Move it has a sloping tool somewhere over here, somewhere, I think. Slope objects. But anyway, for like the loops and stuff, that's going to be awesome. Now, the final two is actually the more exciting pieces, and that's the kind of standard looping arrangement. So let's do a bit of a bridge section over here, and let's do like a manageable little slope height. What was the height of this? Oh, it's stuck underneath some of this stuff. Yeah, hang on, let's try that again. There we go. That's the one. So now, if we go with the manageable bridge height, let's say about 12 meters, and we'll run a little something like that. Okay. And now we'll go back on the ground level, and we're just going to run. No. On the ground level, please. There we go. Ooh, something like that. Okay. Now, what we'll do is we've come into this tool, get the multi-tool, and then do the loop. And we select the edge over here and select the other edge, and there we go. Now it's going to create a loop, right? Excellent. So that's for like the clover leaves and things like that. So we can do a few things. We can increase the radius, okay, and we can change the loop direction. I don't think it's relevant in this case. We can't change the loop direction, but we can increase the radius of the loop. So when we do that, there we go. Whoops, there we go. And it's actually sloped it very nicely. Exactly the kind of way I would have expected it to do. So that's the one part of the mix here. The other one is, and maybe we can do it right over here. Use that and say the other tool is the road connect tool. What is it called? Create connection mode. And again, what we'll do is we'll click here and we'll click over there. And that's a little funny. Let's do that. Do that again. There we go. And what we can also do is now we can increase the radius a little bit. Okay, and probably what we'll do is we'll bridge that connection. Oh, excellent. That's beautiful. And now we'll just do that. There we go. Now we've got a bridge. How about that? That's a cool way to get your curves proper curves in there. Anyway, we will close all of this out. So guys, that is the new network multi-tool that is available on the workshop, of course, as where you would find all your other mods. And let's get back into the game. Okay, let's remove that and jump back into the game and see what is it that we're doing over here. We've got a bit of a demand for commercial. Ooh, this area has started to grow, but without any power. So we've got a bit of a demand for commercial. So commercial is on here, and I'm kind of tempted to run a little bit of commercial down this stretch over here as well. So let's see about squeezing in some commercial down this road over here, and maybe that will result in us getting slightly better power connectivity through there. I think that's going to be just fine. So maybe it'll make the jump. I'm not too sure. Otherwise, what we'll do is, otherwise we'll have to do the jump. Create the jump ourselves. At the moment, it's a bit of a challenge. The jump is not being created, so we will have to figure something out. So I'm going to run a little bit of power down there and down here, and that should provide the power connectivity that we require over here. And we'll come back and clean some of that up and remove some of that again in the future. So now we'll get a little bit more commercial activity over there. We've been talking about, oh yes, actually one of the things that I really want us to do in this episode is actually sort out our parking that is associated with the commercial pieces over here. Because we've got lots of parking right on this side street, but the others do not really have that. So let's do a little bit of parking to the back over here. So we will grab this parking tool. I believe actually what we'll do is let's start it off with, I think that's probably not, we probably don't need that much parking, but what we'll do is we'll do little strips of parking. And if we're going to want to, oh, if we're doing it, wow, look at that. That's just weird. Something funny has happened over there. But if I do little strips like this, and we'll have to provide an access point somewhere, you know what? We could actually get the access point in on this side, in which case we might want to do slightly larger sections of parking, so we don't have to do parking everywhere. But for instance, this little section, we could maybe squeeze a little bit of parking in here. It would actually work really well to put parking and get the parking off of this little road here. And then we'll have to see, maybe from time to time, you'll actually do parking off of the main line. But yeah, I think our road network is working pretty well. It's just the deliveries. And of course, that's the kind of problem that you will face on a network like such as this. Now, let's get the connection in here. I think that's the connection that we're after. Really, is that... let's do a little something like... Shall we curve it a little bit? I'm tempted to curve it a little. Yeah, we'll do a little something like that. So there we go. Now we've got a little bit of parking going on. Maybe what we'll do is we'll move it just a tad. Yeah, I like that. That's not bad. What we'll do is we'll move... Ooh, maybe not on top of that. But anyway, there we go. Now we've got some parking going on over here. Let's quickly get that in. I believe that one should fit. Ooh, actually, it might be exactly the right size. Ooh, yeah, I like it. I'm gonna use that one right over there. I'm gonna put it in close by like so people can actually go and make the turn on the other side. There we go. There's our parking. Now we've got parking available over here. I'm going to have a quick look at what's going on with our zoning over here. So really, what we'll want to do is just fix our zoning. So I'm going to get rid of those two. There we go. Parking's already being used straight away. Now let's get a path over here and just make sure that we're in fact connecting. And we'll connect it up over there. And what we'll do is we'll also connect it up on this side. There we go. Now we'll use move it and we'll just kind of... Ooh, did we lose something because of that? Not too sure. But anyway, if we do that, that should give us some parking accessibility over there. So there's a little bit of parking at the back on this side. And we can do some similar things elsewhere. So we'll just have a little bit more parking going on. And I think some parking on the back over here, maybe something a little bit larger, and then we'll do a little bit more. Actually, this entire stretch could be commercial. So let's get ourselves a nice proper parking lot at the back. And again, we're not going to do multi-story or anything like that. There's no way a tiny little town like this will actually be multi-story. But this could actually work. Or we could do 2 stretches of this one. And we want this to be straight because otherwise the parking just ain't gonna work. And we'll do that. I believe that should be fine. Actually, that'll be awesome right over there. What we'll do is we'll fix this one up so that the guys keep blocking this area also. So we'll have to keep an eye out and just make sure that that works. Then we're gonna go and grab our pathway over here and yeah, let's run a bit of a straight line in over there. And what I'll do is I'll do this side too. So we'll kind of have a bit of a turnaround over there. Now, what I'll do is we'll move this a little closer this way. Try and get that in there. And that's going to be just appropriate like so. I think that's going to be just fine like that. So let's quickly get our parking in here and that should finish that section off. And I think that's going to do it for parking for us for the time being. Let's make sure to, there's going to be a lot of parking. So I'll quickly do a bit of a, I'll see you when the parking has actually been in place. Okay, guys, and there is our parking area now back. I probably need one more little pathway over here. I put a few trees in there. It's not looking marvelous, but it's at least it's a little something. I'll put one little pathway again in here somewhere. And what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and use move it to get it up all the way to the intersection over there so that at least it's quite accessible from wherever you go. These guys can walk out there and walk this direction. So there we go. Now we've got a nice little, and I think this kind of becomes a little bit of a commercial zone center kind of thing. What I'll do is I'll do a little bit of higher density right over here. Ooh, you know what? There's a bit of a challenge over here. Let's quickly I would like us to just get rid of the zoning over here. How do I do it like this? Can I just get rid of that zoning, please? Excellent. That works beautifully. Now I'm going to do a much better job there. Similarly, I probably want to get rid of the zoning off of these guys here. There we go. Ooh, it's a little, come on. It's a little tight. Come on. Get me that spot. Nice. Get rid of that. There we go. That's a much better little zoning block that we've done right over there. And I can also remove some zoning over here, actually. So that looks a little better. I can probably, it's fine. That's going to be okay. Let's do that. And I wanted to do a little bit of high density. So let's see if we can do a little stretch of higher density right over there. This was going to remove it, and that's fine. Let's actually do that. Let's do a little high density, 2 high density blocks over there, and then we'll do a little bit more low density in this area right over here. And we'll even throw in a little one over there, and a little one over there, and a little one over here. So there we go. That's a little bit more commercial, a little commercial center with some parking, and we can do a very similar thing on the other side. Really, let's get one more little chunk of high density just to the back of that. Maybe not all the way. Let's do that one, and then we'll do a smaller one next to it, and an even smaller one right over there. And there we go. We've got a little park environment over there. It's looking pretty good. I do like that. What I wanted to do is just use the Traffic Manager President Edition over here, and just quickly, not this, 20. I'm after the intersection options. I just want to make sure that you are in fact allowed to block it going through there. From this side, I wouldn't want you to do that. So there we go. Now it's going to block it through. It's going to be more effective at that intersection right over there. That little spot in the town over here is looking pretty good. Got a few trees in there. We can probably do a few more trees over here. But in general, it's looking pretty good. A nice big chunk of parking right in the middle of town. Got some parking going on over here as well. That's probably not a good way to park. People won't be able to get out. But anyway, this car's going to go straight through them. Now, let's quickly have another look at some of our industrial components over here. So there's been a bit of comments around this thing is not getting enough raw materials, and this is not a good spot for it, and all these kind of things. I think it's an amazing spot for it, by the way. Industrial complexes, you don't have necessarily all your processing right at where you're extracting your stuff. That is why transport networks exist, to move things around. But we could certainly do with a little bit more. What are we after over here? We want some more workers in here, and then we'll probably start leveling up. So we've got some efficiency bonuses and some minus 10% pollution as well, and we're making a little bit of cash, but we need a fair bit more of the raw materials over here. So let's see what we can do. There's some big ones. That's not too big, actually. This is a big one? No, none of them. Oh, but I think I've got everything sorted, actually. Okay, so there we go. That's the stuff ready to go right over there. So let's slot in couple of these guys, and I just want to make sure we do a pretty decent job at connecting some of these guys together. Yeah, something like that. Is that going to be okay? Yeah, I don't mind that too much. It's a slightly different stuff here. What are we using? Beach. Let's just go back and get some more beach, really, so that it's at least a little bit more consistent. Each of these can have up to like 50 workers, so that should be good. We'll give them some water and see that that in fact works. That should provide the water that is necessary. What do we have over here? This guy should be pretty filled up, really. So this is a log yard, and from here, what is this thing after? This thing is after logs, right? So the log should make its way over here, raw forest products, okay? And that's what's in here, raw forest products. Yeah, absolutely. So this should definitely be work. Freight trucks in use, so that the freight trucks are all in use. Okay, interestingly, it's not getting the stuff then. And maybe that's the thing that we've been talking about, is the fact that maybe this guy, as the sawmill, maybe the sawmill should be up here. Is that's what you guys have been mentioning? Ooh, what have I done? Maybe I'll move the sawmill up there. But what is this? This is plain to timber. So yeah, this is the one getting the stuff over there. So maybe what we'll do is let's move this guy over here. Okay, we'll do a little bit of this. Ooh. Can we use move it and just kind of drop that down a little? Something like this, really. It's interesting that it shapes it this way. So anyway, now I'm hoping whether it'll get the stuff. Is it being exported? I don't know. We'll have to see. But anyway, at least workers are going to get straight into that area right over there. And we'll see how the rest of this goes. But yeah, we're slowly growing, very slowly. Very slowly. We've got the need for a fair bit more workers. And we should see a lot more of our residential components filling in. And yeah, that's exactly what's starting to happen over here. I believe these guys should now be all connected. So we can get rid of that. And we can just have a look. Is the rest of this zone? The rest of this is in fact zoned. I think that is probably, you know what? I'm going to actually extend our commercial offering right over here next to our parking facility. So we expand our commercial in this area. So we've got a little bit of a commercial zone over here. And you know what I want to do? Actually, maybe I should have done that beforehand. What I want to do is not any of these zones, but a commercial specialization of organic and local produce. I think it'll look a little bit better in this little town. So in order to do that, we're actually going to need to create a little bit of a district. So let's do that. Let's create a little district right over here. And people are continuously providing me with nice little names and things for districts. So thank you. Keep them coming. What I want to do is I want to do a little bit of a hippie, not a hippie, but a little bit of a commercial like Fairview Park. Well, that's okay. Fairview Park's going to be okay for now. If you want to name this little section over here, please feel free to do so. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do that. This is going to be organic and local produce. And when we talk about the houses, they're going to be the self-sufficient variety. And there's just going to be a few of them, to be honest. It's really just going to be a few of them. So let's do that. Self-sufficient house varieties in here as well. So unfortunately, all of these are going to go now because of that. I should have put those things in place first. But I think it's going to look pretty awesome to have these types of facilities. Look, it looks a lot different than these, whatever this kind of mall style thing that we had over here. But we'll see. I'm pretty keen to see what that means for everything. Got some houses that's rejigging and getting itself sorted out over there. Now, what I wanted to do is I'm probably going to add a little bit more normal, standard, very much standard industrial facilities over here. So let me fill in this block over there, add some more industrial right over there, and we'll see how that goes. The demand for that is booming, so that popped up quite nicely straight away. Is there any policy elements? Let's quickly create a district over here. This is the Prospect Woodland, but I would like to create a little district over here, which will be the industrial park, basically. That's kind of what it's going to be. And I'll actually stretch that to the other side up to about this road connection here. But really, that's going to be the industrial side. And we might actually expand that a little bit. So that's Underhill Square. Underhill? Yeah. Underhill Industrial Park. Let's do that. I'm happy with that name. If you want to name it something else, do so in the comments. Industrial Park. And I wanted to see if there's any kind of policies that we can do. And this is where some of the things that I've not really dealt with or dug into in any of my other playthroughs. So let's quickly see what kind of industrial specialization can we do. Not really. I don't want to do any of these. I don't want to do any of this. It has to be generic, but I wouldn't mind putting a few policies in place. So if we go over here, let's do city planning. And what I'd like to do is try at least, okay, can we move this? No, we can't move that. So can we see, let's see what we have over here. Small business enthusiasts. And I need to put more of these kind of things in here. High-rise ban is not going to be, heavy traffic ban is not going to work. Encourage cycling, not the kind of thing that I'm after. NIMBY, not in my backyard is what I believe it is. No loud noise in the night. Leisure specialized areas will close for the night. Reduces noise pollution caused by leisure. Old Town is not what this is. Lightning rods. VIP area. Any and all shelters in this policy reserved only for citizens living in the policy area. Okay, interesting. Fast recovery, no rebuilding. Okay, that's fine. Combustion engine. None of these are of specific interest. Filter industrial waste. Let's do that. So only industrial buildings needs to filter their waste, making them pollute the ground a lot less. And I'll do that because this is very close to town. Boost connections. Also connections in the area can handle more vehicles carrying tourists, increasing the amount of visitors in the city. Outside connection traffic capacity is increased by 20%. Applies to boats, planes, trains, and private cars. Got a train station there. Let's not worry about that. Workers' union. The workers' union has a strong presence in the city. It provides the workers with better benefits and increased their morale, but also reduces the tax income. Slightly increases adult citizen happiness. It reduces residential tax income by 2%. Maybe not. Automated toll. Industry 4.0. The new technology altered the nature of industrial workforce. All industrial workforces are for well and highly educated citizens. Increased production output by 50%. Reduces workplaces by 30%. Zoned industry. That's okay. We're not going to do that. Sustainable fishing and dolphin safe and airplane tours. None of those are really applicable. Let's have a look at taxation over here. Anything with regards to... It's only... There's nothing with regards to industrial zoning. That's quite interesting. And services, let's see what kind of services. Power usage. What does this mean? Energy conservation is important. We don't need energy conservation is not a big thing for us. And I'm not going to go ahead and do that. Significantly reduces the risk of fire. Let's go ahead with that. Smoke detectors is a good thing to have. Pet ban. Tired of watching your step to avoid animal droppings? Banning pets is a sure way to get rid of that problem. Then again, you might be killing a fly with a sledgehammer here. Slightly reduced garbage accumulation, slightly decreased happiness. Ooh, not good at all. Slightly reduced tax income. Smoking ban, not a big thing. Parks and recreation, something for elsewhere. Free public transport, extra insulation, helicopter priority. To recycle plastic. Recycling centers work with plus 20% efficiency. Let's do that because I think I do have a recycling center in here, and if not, I probably should get one. And is there something funny going on over there? I'll have another look. Prefer parks. Tourists up in the area choose to visit parks more often. Park maintenance, free Wi-Fi. Ooh, automated sorting. Introducing automated sorting to post sorting. Ooh, I need a post office. That's something we'll do straight away. For profit education, book fair, fishing license, algae-based water filtering. Ooh, construct an algae farm. Interesting. Okay, so we've done a couple of little things over here. Nothing too major though. So hopefully that just means that this area is going to be a little cleaner. But yeah, that's about it, really. That is about it that we can do in this spot right over here. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll grow it as necessary. But yeah, we're out of demands. And I think one of the next things we do in the next episode is actually sort out... let's just have a look at this area. It looks really good. Way too much parking, though. But it's looking really good. I think we need to get a university going on. And whether you know what, we'll see about setting up a university complex, maybe somewhere over here, or somewhere riverbound over here, so that it can actually have a train connection to the university. Is that a good idea? Let me know in the comments. Where do you think we should put our university? A riverfront university, I think, will be awesome. And I think that's a pretty cool thing for us to start doing, because we're going to constantly struggle with our demands if we don't get our people more highly educated. So let's quickly have a look at our vitals and just see what's going on. High school availability is good. Elementary school availability is dropping a little bit. Not catastrophically so, but we do need way more people. But if I have a look at over here, if we go to the education component of things, the elementary school over there, and we're really struggling to see that benefit. So maybe we should get an extra elementary school over on this side of things. Maybe another high school is not quite necessary just yet, but an extra elementary school wouldn't be the end of the world. Can we find something similar, Alexander Library. That's not bad, but that doesn't provide you with anything too. Freeman's Bay School. What is this one? Is that a primary? That's a primary school also. And now the question is, this is actually not a bad spot for it, though it will be a little challenging, and we're going to get rid of a few things. I actually like it in this spot right over here. Up to about. Let's do that. See what that is all about. We're obviously anarchying it out. Ooh, people are loving it. Loving our new elementary school, primary school thing over here. And I actually don't mind it the way it is over here. We probably can do a slightly... Whoa, everybody's upgrading like crazy because we've added an extra school to the mix over here. It's a pretty awesome looking school. Look at this. Wow, upgrade. So that's been the problem all along. I'm going to probably end up moving it a little bit. Can we turn it a tad? Oh man, that's the one. Turn it a tad more. Put it in right in here. Excellent. I like that. That's awesome. Ooh, don't do that. And what I'll do is I'll do a little bit of ploppable asphalt over here and maybe see about getting a field of some kind in here. It looks pretty good right in that spot. I am loving it. Let's get a little bit of ploppable asphalt. Okay, and what we'll need to do is get that brush size up a little. Just need to... That's too much. Maybe that's okay. So it's like a little bit of a quad next to the school over here. And what I want to do on this side is maybe plop in something like actually it's probably a park, isn't it? It's probably a park element that I want to squeeze in here. Modern garages. Here we've got some garages. Yeah, I don't think I have. Ooh. I think that's the one. What I'll do, I'm going to squeeze it in right over there. Okay, so we'll get rid of that one house there. And that's going to make a lot of sense. So let's just get rid of that house. And that looks awesome, actually. What we can do is I can use Move It, and we can try and line it up with the school a little bit more. Yeah, something like that. We can get it a little bit further, a little bit closer to the center. There we go. Look at that. That's what I'm after. We'll move it in there. Let's unpause again. I'll use the node control. I believe that connection is still good. Let's just have a look. I should be able to... Yeah, that's fine. I think that's going to be fine. Get out of here. Let's move that out. What am I selecting? Trying to select some stuff. I just wanted to finish off what we've done over here. If I go over here, get the node selector... Is it the node selector that I'm after? What am I trying to... Oh, yes, I know. Now I remember. I'm trying to get rid of... and I've already gotten rid of them. But what I'll do then is I'm actually going to use Move It and just to pull these in a little bit more so. And that... Actually a little bit of a challenge here. So I'll do that. That's okay. So that's kind of the turnaround facility that we've got over here. I'm kind of tempted to get more ploppable asphalt in here, but I think from up high, it's not going to be a big deal. So all of a sudden, there you can see we've got our demands rushing back in. So that was, in fact, the problem. We had a bit of an education problem over here. So now we've got two schools over here. It looks pretty suburban. Our traffic flow is actually quite good. Is this a signal? This is not a signal yet, and they're actually blocking it straight through there. Probably need a signal in over here. So let's quickly, as a final thing in this episode, we quickly plop in that signal. I think it's about time to get that signal installed. Why is it not doing what I want? There we go. Put a signal in there and quickly slot it in as a timed signal, please. Set up timed traffic light. Add a step, please. What we'll do over here, probably a 5 up to 10. And this one will be flowing through that way. I believe we're going to do split phasing for these. I think that's going to be more appropriate. So that's going to be fine. No, until no one is driving, we'll add that step. We'll add another step where we're going to say again 5 to 10. We're going to remove that, put that one in there. And again, until no one is driving, we'll add that one in place. And then we'll add a final step, which is going to switch this one off and switch these two on. And there's a car alarm going off in the street. And that's exactly what I kind of had in mind when I started recording, is that I would like a car alarm to be going off in the street. We'll do that one, and we'll just say more waiting than driving as default. And we'll add that step, and let's start it up straight away. So now I'm hoping we'll get this to kind of work. Yeah, it works pretty nicely through here. And I believe we should get our queues managed a little bit better now. That's pretty cool. Excellent. Excellent. That's not bad. Let's have a quick overview of what's going on with our traffic. It is pretty red looking over here, and we might have to deal with some of this. It is pretty red looking over here, and it's pretty red looking over there. But in all honesty, there's almost no queuing going on at any of these. And so this, I feel, is quite an effective little way of doing with things over here. This is looking really good. What is this saying? We need some more services, do a few services. So we could probably run our bus into that side, but this is working really nicely to kind of fill up that area here. And I think then it's working pretty effectively in this location. Yeah, I think this area is working really nicely, and we'll see about tying it in and getting our bypasses going. Yes, so guys, in the comments right now, tell me, where do you want our university to be? Because I do think we need to add a university to the mix. I need a little bit of water. Right over here, please. That should finish it off. And yeah, then I can actually go ahead and expand this thing a little bit further. So, in the next episode, we'll do we'll start a university. It'll start very small. We're not going to go nuts straight away. We'll just start a tiny little university, allocate a fair bit of space for it, whether it be here or there. We'll allocate a little bit of space for it, and that'll be become the next big feature of our town beyond our area here. And we still have this thing with not enough raw materials, which is a little bit of a challenge. It should be able to get its raw materials over here, right? It's really, raw materials should be all the rage. Anyway, we'll figure that out along the way. Guys, if you've enjoyed, please hit that like button. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.